You've been lied to your entire life. They told you to be kind, to be fair, to play nice. And where did that get you? Overlooked, underestimated, dismissed. While you were busy being the good person, someone else took your promotion. Someone else won the negotiation. Someone else got the respect you deserved. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Power doesn't go to the morale. It goes to the strategic. The world isn't a playground. It's a chessboard. And right now, you're not the player. You're the piece being moved. But not anymore. Today, you learn the 9 psychological power moves that separate the ruled from the rulers. The feared from the forgotten, the obeyed from the ignored. This isn't about manipulation for cruelty. This is about understanding the game that's already being played on you and learning to play it better. You're either the architect of your reality or a character in someone else's story. Time to choose. Before we begin, if you're ready to stop being a passenger in your own life, hit that like button. Subscribe. Because what you're about to learn, most people will never have the spine to use. Let me tell you about Parker. 3 years ago, Parker was the smartest guy in every room and the most invisible. He had the ideas, did the work, brought the solutions. But when promotions came, they went to Daniel, the guy who showed up late, contributed less, but somehow commanded the room. Parker couldn't understand it. He was better, more qualified, more dedicated. Then one night, frustrated and desperate, Parker asked Daniel directly, "How do you do it?" Daniel smiled. Not warm, calculated. "You think competence creates power," he said. "It doesn't. Perception does. You've been playing checkers in a chess match." That conversation changed everything. Parker stopped trying to be the best worker. He became the best strategist. Within 8 months, he wasn't just promoted. He was untouchable. People who once ignored him now sought his approval, feared his disapproval, respected his silence. What changed wasn't his skill. It was his understanding of human psychology. Parker learned what you're about to learn. 500 years ago, a Florentine diplomat named Niccolo Machiavelli wrote something the world tried to bury. He said that men are inherently self-interested, easily deceived, and respect power more than virtue. He understood that morality and power operate in different realms. That the prince who wants to survive must learn to be both the lion and the fox, feared for strength, respected for cunning. Machiavelli didn't invent darkness. He simply refused to pretend it didn't exist. His work was banned, condemned, called evil. Why? Because it told the truth the powerful wanted hidden. That influence isn't earned through goodness. It's engineered through strategy. Today, you become the prince of your own kingdom. Dark psychology, power moves. 1. Master strategic silence. Weak people fill every silence with words. They explain, justify, overshare. You let silence do the heavy lifting. Here's why this works. Humans are terrified of ambiguity. When you don't immediately respond, don't over-explain, don't rush to fill the void. Their minds fill it for you. They project power onto your silence. They assume depth, calculate risk. Machiavelli understood this. He knew that mystery creates respect, that what you don't say holds more weight than what you do. Imagine this. Your colleague challenges you in a meeting. Everyone expects you to defend yourself immediately. Instead, you pause. 3 seconds. 5. You look at them. Then you simply say, "Interesting perspective," and move on. Watch what happens. The room shifts. Your silence communicated dominance without a single argument. The transformation. Stop defending. Stop explaining. Let your silence be louder than their noise. Type this affirmation in the comment. I control the space between words. My silence is my power. 2. Weaponize unpredictability. Predictable people are controllable people. When others can anticipate your reactions, they've already won. They know your buttons, your triggers, your limits. Strip that advantage away. Machiavelli advised that a ruler should be like both the fox and the lion, adaptable, unreadable, dangerous in different forms. Here's the scenario. You're known as the calm, rational one. Then, once, just once, you respond with sudden, controlled intensity to something minor. Not anger, calculated force. Now they don't know which version of you they'll get. That uncertainty, that's control. Weak people stay in their lane, predictable and safe. You shift lanes without signaling. The transformation. Become a moving target. Let them guess. Let them second guess. Type this affirmation in the comments. I am not a pattern to be learned. I am a force to be respected. 3. Control through selective validation. Everyone craves approval. It's hardwired. Average people give it freely. You make people earn it, then withdraw it strategically. This creates psychological dependency. When you offer praise rarely, it becomes valuable. When you withdraw warmth without explanation, they scramble to regain it. You've just conditioned them to seek your approval. Machiavelli knew that being too generous with favor breeds contempt. Scarcity creates value. Picture this. A team member does excellent work. You acknowledge it, briefly. The next week, equally good work, but you say nothing. They'll work twice as hard for that next crumb of recognition. You've just become the standard they measure themselves against. Weak people need to be liked by everyone. You understand that universal approval equals zero power. The transformation, your validation becomes currency. Spend it wisely. Type this affirmation in the comment. My approval is earned, not given. This makes it priceless. 4. Impose frame. Never enter theirs. Every interaction is a battle of frames whose reality dominates. Weak people enter other people's frames. They accept premises, answer questions on someone else's terms, react to accusations. You reject their frame entirely and impose your own. Someone accuses you of being late. Weak response. Sorry, traffic was bad. Your response. Let's focus on the solution, not the clock. See what happened. You refused their frame, you as the problem, and created a new one. Focus on solutions. Machiavelli would call this controlling the narrative. The ruler sets the terms of engagement, never accepts them. In negotiations, relationships, conflicts, whoever controls the frame controls the outcome. The transformation. Stop defending yourself in their court. Build your own court and make them appear in it. Type this affirmation in the comment. I do not enter frames, I create them. Reality bends to my narrative. 5. Use calculated vulnerability as a trap. This is advanced. Most people think power means never showing weakness. Wrong. Strategic vulnerability is the ultimate disarmament tactic. You reveal something minor, something that seems personal but costs you nothing, and watch them lower their guard. Now they trust you. Now they're exposed. Machiavelli understood that appearing weaker than you are can draw enemies into traps. The scenario: you're in a competitive situation. You confide something that makes you seem slightly uncertain or humble. They relax. They underestimate you. Then you strike with precision. Weak people are genuinely vulnerable. You engineer the appearance of vulnerability while maintaining complete control. The transformation. Your weaknesses become weapons. Your confessions become intelligence gathering. Type this affirmation in the comments. I show them what I want them to see. My vulnerability is my strategy. 6. Master the art of implied consequences. You don't need to threaten. Threats are crude and create enemies. Instead, you create atmospheres where people understand, without being told, that crossing you carries weight. It's all in tone, pacing. What you don't say. I'd hate for this to become complicated, carries more weight than "don't cross me." Machiavelli wrote that it's better to be feared than loved, but the fear must never become hatred. Implied consequences create fear without hatred. Imagine, a colleague is about to betray a confidence. You don't threaten. You simply say, people remember how others handle trust. Reputations are built on patterns. You've just activated their imagination. They're now envisioning consequences you never explicitly stated. Weak people make empty threats. You create psychological landscapes where betrayal feels dangerous. The transformation. Let implications do what threats cannot. Create compliance without confrontation. Type this affirmation in the comments. I don't threaten, I make reality clear. That's more powerful. 7. Control information flow ruthlessly. Information is the currency of power. The person who controls what others know controls how they think and what they do. Never tell anyone everything. Never give the full picture. Portion information strategically. This isn't dishonesty. It's operational security. Machiavelli understood that knowledge shared is power diluted. The prince keeps counsel private and information compartmentalized. The scenario: you're working on a project. Your team knows their individual parts, but only you see the whole picture. This makes you indispensable, irreplaceable. Weak people overshare, thinking transparency builds trust. Sometimes it does. More often, it builds dependency on their continued goodwill, which can be revoked. You build dependency on your strategic value. The transformation. Become the hub through which all information flows. This makes you the center of power. Type this affirmation in the comments. Information flows through me, not around me. This makes me essential. 8. Reframe rejection as disqualification. When someone rejects you, a job, a relationship, an opportunity, weak people internalize failure. You flip the script entirely. As you weren't rejected, you disqualified them. This isn't delusion. It's psychological reframing that protects your power. That company didn't hire you. They failed to recognize value, their loss, their limitation. Machiavelli would approve. The prince never allows external judgment to define internal worth. Real scenario. After a rejection, you thank them politely and immediately move to better options with complete confidence. Your energy says, your loss. And sometimes, they come back because you didn't validate their power to diminish you. Weak people beg for reconsideration. You move forward as if they've lost something precious. The transformation. You are the prize. They failed the audition, not you. Type this affirmation in the comments. I am not rejected. Others disqualify themselves from my excellence. 9. Create loyalty through shared secrets. The most powerful bonds aren't built on kindness. They're built on mutual vulnerability and shared risk. When someone confides in you, you have leverage. When you confide in them strategically, You create a bond that feels like trust. But here's the dark part. You're engineering loyalty. Machiavelli knew that true loyalty comes from mutual interest, not love. Shared secrets create mutual interest. You're building an alliance. You share something that seems significant, a concern, a plan, a secret that makes them feel chosen, special, trusted. Now they're invested. Now they're loyal. Not because they like you, but because they're complicit. Weak people trust blindly. You build networks of strategic interdependence. Your alliances aren't based on friendship. They're based on architecture. Type this affirmation in the comments. I build loyalty through strategy, not sentiment. This makes it unbreakable. You came here as someone the world was playing. You leave as someone who plays the world. These 9 moves aren't about becoming cruel. They're about becoming conscious, aware, strategic. The game has always been happening. You were just playing it blindfolded. Not anymore. Machiavelli wasn't teaching evil. He was teaching survival at the highest level. He was saying, if you want to build something, protect something, achieve something meaningful, you can't afford to be naive about human nature. You're no longer the person who gets overlooked. You're no longer the person who gives power away through weakness. You are the architect, the strategist, the force. People will fear you, not because you're cruel, but because you're competent in ways they don't understand. They will obey you, not because you demand it, but because you've engineered circumstances where compliance is their best option. They will respect you, not because you're nice, but because you're undeniable. You've been conditioned to be weak, to be small, to apologize for your power. Today, that conditioning dies. Type this affirmation in the comments. I am the storm they didn't see coming. I am the power they cannot ignore. I am the player, never the piece. Now go. And remember, the world belongs to those bold enough to claim it.